At one point in time, we may have or we may join paths with someone who hasn't had the same opportunity as we are ourselves. It could be a woman who you really see a lot of potential in. You know that she can go further in life. You believe that she just hasn't had her seed watered. She hasn't had someone to come and help direct her. And you relate, you identify with her struggle. It could be the guy who is just coming home from incarceration. And so his credit, for example, may not be up to par. He doesn't understand a lot of how the working class is operating. He may not even have the same mannerisms. And you've worked very hard to be where you are. You've had your own challenges in life that you have overcame. And you're not that person who has jumped on a high horse and the only potential mates or partners that you see has to be on a high horse. You will even consider someone who doesn't have it all together right now, but they are willing. And you believe that you could add and you could help bring out the best in them. By the way, like, subscribe, and hit that notification icon for more of my material. So, in spite of what some of your friends and some of the naysayers may think about this person who is not necessarily on your level right now, but you're overlooking all that. You don't care because you have a good heart, and you know that at one point in time, you yourself didn't have it all together. And so you set out to actually have a relationship with this person. You really like this person. You may love this person. You may be in love with this person. And so as the relationships begin to progress and unfold, you realize that more times than enough, this person isn't living up to the standards that you all have set in a relationship. You notice that this person isn't as motivated as you would like for them to be. And you're turning up your patience. You're doing your best to cultivate an environment where they can grow, where you all can grow together. And it's a good thing to have such a heart. But I believe that we have to also keep a certain amount of reality there. Meaning that it's possible that this person may not be ready to move at the pace and go to the places in life that you strongly desire for you all to go. And I believe that it's also important that this person that you found so much interest in, you have to evaluate whether they are as passionate about becoming a better version of themselves first. You see, because what happens is that we have to understand that it's really challenging enough. Life is challenging enough with all its expectations, with all its heartaches and pains that can come about at times unexpectedly. We have to understand that dealing with that is enough by itself. And keeping yourself in check. Because no matter how far you've come and no matter how much you have overcome, you know that it's a daily grind to exercise discipline over the temptation, over the bad habits, over going back to what you used to do that you have overcome. That's an everyday choice to stay on the path that you have been on that is now serving you well. By itself is enough for just you to deal with. And now you're having to help someone else. And again, that is a good thing. It's so grateful when someone don't mind looking down and reaching down and pulling somebody up. Not looking down on them, but looking down just to grab a hand and say, come on, I'm with you. Give them that little extra push. Putting some light in their world. Giving them some direction. And you turn and that person is right there. They're beside you. And they want it. And you're grateful. That's what's up. But the thing is when you got to turn so far around. Because they're so far behind and they're not attempting to catch up. You got to distract them from what they're distracted by in order to get them back on path. And if you stay back here long enough, if you notice, you're taking your mind, you're taking your eyes off your vision. You're not focused where you once was. So it's okay to turn to some extent for someone who's beside you. They're trying to keep up the steps. They're working with you. You have their best interests in hand. They are appreciative. But when you got to turn back here this far, and you stay back here this far for so long, it's easy to get off track, to get off path yourself. Because while you're still back here helping them and serving them, life is still happening. You still got to get up and maybe go to work. You still got to run your own business. You still got to deal with the grief that may come unexpectedly, whether it's, God forbid, a deceased family member, something very dramatic or heartbreaking that happens in life. You still may have children you got to deal with that's having issues, that stand out and keeping you upset and you're worried and hoping that they're all right. You're trying to manage your bills and just stay on top of yourself. And you may have enough room to lend some attention over here. But it's a difference when you turn all the way back here. And you have to work all the way back there. But if they are willing to take the steps to move so you can stay connected to your vision and your goals and your responsibilities and continue to exercise your discipline, and you can help bring them to the forefront where you all can work together. Now that's a big difference. And so I think it's very important to understand that you have to take care of you first And that is the same philosophy that you want to input into the person that you're trying to lift up and that you're trying to bring forward. And you have to see where they are with it. Because it's good to have a good heart, but you don't want your good heart to put you in a bad place for trying to help someone else out. As the old saying goes, you can lead a horse to the water, but you can't make him drink it. He got to stick his own tongue out. In fact, he got to want it. He or she, they got to want it, lest you wind up falling off your path. And then, at that point, you can't do so much helping for nobody because you're trying to get you back on track. And so you got to know when to say, I gave it a try. I got to let go. I worked so very hard to be where I am in life, and it wasn't easy. And because you have worked so hard, you know that there are no excuses. And not only that, you know that it was worth it. Because where you found yourself in a place of peace, in a place of prosperity, in a place of focus, where you found yourself and you're proud of yourself, you know that it's worth it. And maybe you didn't have no one to lift you up. You ain't had no one to try to bring you along. And you still made it. So the very fact that you're lending a hand and you're lending a heart is even more reason that that person needs to be encouraged and step up. So, when do you let go? When do you say enough is enough? And one of the things you can consider while doing so is that you're dealing with an adult. I don't care how good the sex is, you're dealing with an adult. No sex, no looks or appearance that that person may have, no amount of charm is worth you getting off track from where you have worked so hard to be for the sake of love. Because there's someone out there who is motivated, who is inspired, and all they need is someone to help lead, guide, encourage, inspire, and show them the way. And in that sense is where bonds are forged. That's where true love finds its grip. And then the two begin to move as one. And at some point, as the Bible would say, the two become one. You can't save anyone. People gotta want to be helped. You cannot make anyone love you. You can't make anyone do the right thing. You can only assist. You can only help out. You can't be someone's lover and their crutch at the same time. Break the cycle.